Hello! I'll start right away with some content discussion. We'll get into your wonderful discussions this week. So I'm thinking if the 21st century is currently called the age of globalization, the 20th century is surely called the age of global conflict, marked with 2 world wars separated by decades of great economic panic, and not to diminish the utter devastation of the 1929 crash and the Great Depression to follow, but boom and bust is a byproduct of a capitalist economy. As historians, you should grow to mark economic depressions and their consequence as a common cycle of history. But the famous guns of August shattered the fragile European peace in 1914, held together by a curious alliance system between Germany, Austria-Hungary, Great Britain, France, and Russia. The Central Powers were Germany, Russia, and Austria-Hungary. The Allied powers were Great Britain, France, and Russia. And in this equation, Woodrow Wilson declared neutrality. However, the conflict played out over trading and the movement of goods across the Atlantic, supplying the warring powers in Europe. Wilson eventually asked Congress for a declaration of war after an American ship, the Lusitania, was sunk, and an American newspaper published an intercepted telegram, the Zimmerman note, from the foreign German minister, who was supposedly proposing a German-Mexican alliance against the United States. Once the decision to go to war was made, the results of the preparation and engagement, though the American engagement was brief, were profound indeed, as you all noted in your conferences this week. The Wilson administration took extraordinary propaganda campaign measures to shape American public opinion, and Daniel pointed that out in his post when he noted the importance and value of the home front as the Food and Drug Administration, led by Herbert Hoover, instituted Meatless Mondays and Wheatless Wednesdays, and other departments within the government issued pamphlets to explain to the American people why we were entering the war and to help vilify the German Kaiser. Without a doubt, though, the consensus among the class was the high death toll as being the greatest legacy of the war. Many of you, including Frank and Christopher, Charles, Tiffany, Hannah, Zach, Eric, Amber, Ava, and Carol, all noted that the deaths in the war were monumental. And Charles also pointed out that this was especially true for Russia, who left the conflict early. The second key outcome amongst the class this week was the economic impact of the war and the rise of international trade, as Tiffany and James and Zach and Eric, Isaac and Ava and Carol all noted. The varying degrees of impact, for better or worse, that the war had on global markets, sparking, as some of you noted, and even leading the way into the economic panic that would be the Great Depression. Very well articulated, all of you. Another highly mentioned outcome in the class discussion this week was the technological advances in warfare mentioned by Charles, Eric, and Amber. Among these were innovations in the machinery of war, U-boats, poison gas, machine guns, bombs, zeppelins, tanks, grenades, and airplanes. The American presence in World War I was famously fleeting, and Wilson's efforts to negotiate a lasting peace tied to the League of Nations failed, as you all noted. Charles noted this particularly well in his post, and nearly all of you noted in our second discussion question that the Treaty of Versailles set the stage for World War II, leaving a bitter Germany and causing the rise of the Nazi Party. Isaac, Ava, and Carol specifically mentioned the war guilt clause in the treaty, which was written to embarrass the German people rather to address the members of the German royal family who led the country to war in the first place. I want to note the much better job with the citations this week. Thank you very much for being so attentive to that and all of the great critical thinking. An excellent job paying attention to the prompt and answering it directly. Another sign of your professionalism. Please note our midterm exam is next Thursday, June 12th. It will be in the assignment folder on June 12th, and you will have 24 hours to take it. The directions will be on the exam when it is released. It will be open note, open book. You will have it in the form of short answers and an essay. And the exam should take about 90 minutes to 2 hours in one sitting. To study, you should use the key term list that is attached each week to the classroom portal. Also, please keep moving forward with assignment 2, the Webliography. And always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send them my way. I enjoy reading your excellent discussions. Thanks so much.